Hi, my name is Manish Gupta, and in this video, I'm going to talk about large language diffusion models with masking. So let's get started. In short, the model is called LLaDA, so large language diffusion models with masking. They took the A from masking and put it as a capital A there. Anyway, you see, these large language models are basically used for text generation. Now, to generate the text, the idea is that let's say you basically are generating some text X, right? So there's a probability distribution of generating that. So you want to obviously the basic principle of generating text is that you want to maximize the data log likelihood. Okay. Which basically is this. So you want to maximize the expected log likelihood of seeing the data, right? But the real distribution of the data is unknown, and therefore you try to approximate it using a model, which is represented using theta, so with parameters theta, right? And what you want to do is to ensure that this model basically provides you a distribution of the text which is as close to the actual data distribution as possible, which basically means that you want to minimize the KL divergence between the actual data distribution and the distribution of the data generated by your model. Okay, which basically means that you want to maximize the distribution log likelihood as generated by the model. Okay. Now it turns out that when you are trying to do these large language models, as are popularly known today, right, they are autoregressive in nature, which basically means that they first generate the first token, then they generate the next token, conditional on the previous few tokens, and so on. So this is how the generation looks like. So today's models, P theta of X, basically are modeled in an autoregressive manner like that. You generate the first token, and then you generate the next few tokens, conditional on all the previous tokens. Okay. Basically, you do left to right generation. Okay. However, it is important to notice that this left to right autoregressive generation is just one of the ways of doing generative modeling. The overall generative modeling basically just says that, hey, come up with some distribution, some generation X, such that it has a probability as close to the actual distribution X, right? So autoregressive formulation is not the only formulation. That is the point. Autoregressive formulation brings in a natural limitation. The limitation is because of its left to right generative process. It restricts the ability to handle reversal reasoning, right? It is popularly known as the reversal curse. That if some of those text pieces are only available in the forward way, and that is what has been encoded during pre-training in these left to right models, then they cannot really do reasoning in the reverse manner. Okay. However, if you model this generative modeling part using some other way rather than autoregressive manner, you can get rid of this reversal curse. Okay. So which is what is done in this LLaDA model. So LLaDA is a diffusion model, pre-trained and supervised fine-tuned from scratch. It employs diffusion, which basically is a process which contains two parts, forward process and a reverse process. So in the forward process, it basically uses data masking. And in the reverse generation process, which is basically the inference process as well, it basically uses transformer to unmask these tokens to predict the masked tokens. Okay, so from this predicting the masked tokens perspective, it is actually very similar to BERT, but with a small twist, okay, which we'll talk about. LLaDA uses transformers, but it uses them in a bidirectional manner. So therefore, it has bidirectional dependencies. And obviously, it tries to optimize this log likelihood, not directly, though. It optimizes a variational lower bound on this log likelihood. I won't go into the technical mathematical parts of what is a variational lower bound and so on. But I'll basically talk about it at an intuitive level. Okay. So if you basically try out LLaDA, this is how the diffusion process looks like. So essentially, you can use it like a large language model. You can ask questions like, what are CNNs? And after you post this question, it basically is going to, on the right side, you will see it is going to unmask tokens one by one. It starts with a very large sequence, all masks. And then as you can see, it basically is unmasking those tokens one by one, inherently producing this output, which is very similar to the output that can also be generated using large language models, which are autoregressive in nature. Okay. So how does LLaDA work? Okay. So LLaDA works, in various, in the following manner, which is depicted on the slide. And I'm going to talk about it one by one. So there are these three things, A, B, C. A is how pre-training is done, B is how supervised fine-tuning is done, and C is how inference is done using LLaDA. Okay. So in the pre-train phase, basically the way you do this is to actually, pre-train phase actually has two parts to it, the forward process and the reverse process. Okay. So in the pre-train phase, you start from a text sequence, right, which is totally unmasked. So you start with X0, what is popularly called as X0 in the diffusion world. Okay. So, and then you do the forward process. So in the forward process, you're basically masking. So in the forward process, you go from t equal to 0 to t equal to 1, as is popularly known in the diffusion world, and you mask tokens independently in x0. So x0, remember, is the original text sequence. You're going to mask them, slowly gradually over time, until the sequence is fully masked at t equal to 1. So start with t equal to 0, go to t equal to 1, and you see at every, and you do several iterations of masking, and at every iteration, you basically mask some tokens independently with the uniform probability, uniform value, random value between 0 to 1. Okay, and this ratio is t. T is basically fixed for the entire process. Okay. Now, so this is the forward process. This is the first process, forward process. Now, in the reverse process, when you're doing this forward process, you're doing several iterations, indexed by t. So for t between 0 to 1, xt, you basically get a partially masked sequence xt, and that's xt is partially masked with each token being masked with probability t or remaining unmasked with probability 1 minus t. Okay, so that's that. So for example, if your sequence was like 1,000 long, maybe the sequence was 1,000 long, and you were also doing 1,000 iterations, maybe after 20 iterations, you would basically have 20 of those 1,000 tokens on average in the masked form. The remaining ones are going to be in the unmasked form. Okay. After obviously 200 iterations, you will have 200 of them in the masked form on average. Okay, so that's what happens. Now the reverse process is basically this part, which is the mask predictor. So this is pretty much like a BERT kind of a predictor. So it basically takes those masked tokens and it tries to unmask them, right? So it's a reverse process, essentially, and it uses the transformers model. Okay, so it's a reverse process, goes from t equal to 1 to t equal to 0, as is standard in the diffusion world. It recovers the data by iteratively predicting those masked tokens. Okay, so that's basically the pre-training part. Now, if you look at the supervised fine-tuning part, in supervised fine-tuning part is very similar to the pre-training part, except that the input is divided into two parts, prompt and response. So you do not really mask or unmask tokens in the prompt. You just do that on the response side. However, you do use the prompt tokens as well. So for mask prediction, right? So you do the forward process and the reverse process still, but the forward process only applies to the response. Reverse process also only applies to the response part. Okay, so that's that. Now, at the inference time, essentially, you basically obviously give the prompt, as I gave on the previous slide, what are CNNs, and then you have the response. The response length is fixed. So maybe you want to generate up to maybe 1,000 tokens or 500 tokens. So that's that, and all of them are represented by a mask token to begin with. Okay. Now, over several iterations, you're going to unmask them one by one, okay, using this mask predictor guy, which is a transformer model, as I was talking about, right? And you see, you're not going to unmask everything in one iteration. You're going to unmask a few tokens every iteration, and then after several iterations, essentially, you would have unmasked the entire sequence, and that's going to be a generated output. Okay. Now, a little bit about this mask predictor guy. Here, the input is xt at any time point t. So, at any time point t in this reverse process, basically, you're unmasking a few tokens, right? So basically, or you're predicting the unmasked value, unmasked token at every masked position. Okay. So the input is xt. And what you want to do is to predict all masked tokens simultaneously. You actually come up with predictions for all the masked tokens. Okay. At any particular iteration, however, you're going to keep only a few of them, in the unmasked form, and you're going to remask everything else. Okay, so you remask based on a lower confidence value. So if you're not confident about the unmasked token, then you are going to remask it. Okay, but anyway, while training, you try to basically train using cross entropy loss, which is only computed on the masked tokens. So let's say at the time point xt, you essentially have at time point t, you have the xt guy. Xt guy, remember, is coming from the forward process. When you did forward process, you know exactly at time point t what was the sequence, right? X0 is the original sequence. So, and X0 of I is basically the ith position token in the original sequence. So you see, this particular thing is trying to optimize for the cross entropy loss over all the sequence positions I equal to 1 to L. So L is the total number of tokens. However, it only applies to masked tokens using this integrator function. So only if this particular token was masked, basically you use this categorical, you use this cross entropy loss. obviously over the entire vocabulary, and try to minimize the loss. Okay, so that's how the expectation is computed. Remember, T, what is T? T is basically a random variable sampled between 0 to 1. Okay, it sort of denotes the time or the iteration number when you are basically doing this mask prediction or the reverse process. Okay. So the way this mask prediction differs from BERT, in BERT, basically the T is fixed to 0.15, while in LLaDA, basically the masking ratio is some number between 0 to 1. Okay, so that's basically not fixed in that sense. Okay. So how is LLaDA trained and how does it perform? So well, LLaDA is trained in two phases, pre-training and SFT, supervised fine-tuning. And pre-training, basically, it's a mask predictor, and the mask predictor is basically a transformer model. They basically pre-train two different models, 1 billion and 8 billion in size. 1 billion model is like 22 layers deep. 8 billion model is 32 layers deep. It's a transformer encoder in that sense. However, it has no key value caching because it's not left to right, so you can't do key value caching. It has a different vocabulary size, 126K, and also 32 attention heads in both of these 1 billion and 8 billion checkpoints. Pre-training was done using 2.3 trillion tokens, comprising of a diverse kind of data set, high quality code, math, multilingual data, and so on. Max sequence length was fixed to 4,096 tokens, and the training consumed 0.13 million H800 GPU hours. To ensure that they can handle variable length sequences, they don't pre-train. They pre-train 99% of the data, is 4096 length. Right. However, 1% of the pre-training data has length somewhere less than 4,000 tokens. Okay, so just to ensure that it can actually handle variable length sequence also. After pre-training is done, supervised fine-tuning was done. As I mentioned in this one, the B figure, and supervised fine-tuning was basically done using 4.5 million pairs. At inference time, you can set the number of sampling steps as a hyperparameter. And obviously, if you have larger number of sampling steps, it takes longer to generate the final output because it has to do forward passes through the transformer, the mask predictor transformer several times, right? So the efficiency is lower, but then the sampling quality is better. So the number of sampling steps basically tells you the trade-off between efficiency and sampling quality. So when the full output is generated, you basically look at the first EOS token, end of sequence token, and then you discard all the tokens after the end of sequence token. At every iteration, you come up with predictions at every masked position. However, you only unmask a few of them and remask all the low confidence positions. The number of unmaskings that are done are the same at every iteration. The number of the tokens that are unmasked are the same at every position, and those are basically defined by the number of sampling steps, right? So that's that. Now, how does this LLaDA model perform? So LLaDA 8 billion base model is known to perform better than Llama 2 7 billion base model. Remember, Llama 2 is an autoregressive model. LLaDA is a diffusion-based model. So as you can see this from this chart, they performed experiments on several kinds of benchmark data sets covering mathematics, general tasks, Chinese, general linguistic tasks, right? Like Chinese tasks and coding-based tasks. And as you can see here, there are three models which are being compared. LLaDA 8 billion base checkpoint, which is just the pre-trained checkpoint, not the supervised fine-tuned one. Llama 3 8 billion base and Llama 2 7 billion base. Now, as you can see, Llama 2 7 billion base is the innermost guy, right? And across all of these data sets, which span across maths, code, Chinese, and general tasks, you observe that LLaDA 8 billion base is better than Llama 2 7 billion base. It is comparable to Llama 3 8 billion base, as you can see. Now, after supervised fine-tuning is done, the lower chart shows you the results after the supervised fine-tuning is done, again on coding-based tasks, math tasks, and general tasks. You can observe that LLaDA 8 billion instruct is way better than Llama 2 7 billion instruct, which is much, much lower in terms of performance. And as you can see, LLaDA 8 billion instruct is actually comparable with the Llama 3 8 billion instruct model as well. Now, the interesting part, it may look like, hey, LLaDA model is similar to Llama model, big deal, right? And so big deal. But an interesting thing to observe is that LLaDA 8 billion instruct model can also handle reversal curves. So the way that they tested this is basically they experimented with the reversal poem completion task. So what they did was to really take this data set of 496 famous Chinese poem sentence pairs. And the idea is that given any particular sentence, you are supposed to predict the previous sentence and the next sentence both. Okay. Now, essentially, so basically you can predict the previous sentence, which is basically the reversal task, and the next sentence, which is the forward task. Okay. So as you can observe, GPT-4o and 2.57 billion instruct actually perform really well on the forward task. However, on the reversal task, they perform really poorly. Now, if you compare that with LLaDA 8 billion instruct, sure, I mean, the forward accuracy is not as good compared to Quen 2.57 billion instruct model. However, on the reversal task, it actually performs really well. It actually gives you much better results, right? So that's that. So in summary, in this video, I talked about LLaDA, which is basically a text diffusion language model trained from scratch with 8 billion parameters, trained in 2 phases, pre-training and supervised fine-tuning. Well, you must remember that they don't do any reinforcement learning on this model. So reinforcement learning may actually lead to even better results, right? However, we already saw that LLaDA model can provide strong capabilities in terms of scalability in terms of pre-training compute used and so on, in context learning and instruction following. It has performance similar to Llama 3 and much better than Llama 2. It also addresses reversal curves because it uses bidirectional dependencies, leverages bidirectional dependencies rather than being just left to right autoregressive model. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Connect with me on my LinkedIn or look at my research on my homepage. Thank you.